satisfying period as that, because I had the opportunity to stay away from every negative. See, I turned off my post notification or notification of some news channels. I turned it off for the period she was away, because I was like, okay, I don't have any business with, since I'm not on the morning show, I don't have any business. But when I came back to the morning, like, it's like every morning you've prepared your mind, you've prepared your mind to, like, something bad is going to be.
Just absorb, whatever the news is.
Let me say it the way you understand, yeah. How about also? I don't mind.
Nah, you know. Like,
you can't leave your behind.
I know, yeah, but that period, funnily enough, that period was when a lot of broadcasters and OAP were putting it out there on the media that, being a broadcaster at this particular time, reporting the news, especially stations.
You feel like you need some help.
Especially some stations that would, not the news channel now, those stations that will report a bad news to you in a joking manner, so that it's going to be light.
Like rock news, or they just try to ease it out.
Yes, a lot of them complained on social media how mentally draining it was for them. And true, it is not even it was, because at this point now, every morning I wake up and after saying my morning prayer, I say, God, whatever bad news, let it not be as heavy as yesterday. But it's looking like every new day there's a rebranding of the bad news.
This morning I woke up, I opened. I don't know why I do this. I keep telling myself I need to change this habit, but I can't. So this is how my morning routine goes. If there is electricity, thank God, I'll wake up and I'll turn the TV to any of these news channels, any of these TV channels, this news. Just trying to get up with the early stories and see what's happening. And then while I'm doing that, I'm doing a double take on Twitter as well, and trying to find out, and somehow you just get the buzz boost, like you're slapped with it, and you're like, again?
You just get them.
Or you read something, you're like, wait, isn't this in Nigeria?
I decided to stay off social media on Monday, from morning down till like in the evening, because I wasn't ready for the crazy stories. And then I got here in the night and then turned on my phone. I saw, in fact, depressing stuff. A friend of mine lost a brother. Crazy story. Then another friend lost a mom, and something else happened. I remember that night I got to, I was like, quote for the week, you understand? And we had a conversation. I was like, how do you encourage people at this time? What do you say to them?
Keep being strong.
We're
like, here for you.
No, when you're not even there for yourself. I mean, some days I'm like, see, I can't even do this today. Like, you're just mentally depressed. I
think that was what I did on Monday. On Monday nights when you were not around. It was supposed to be Motivation Monday, and I told them that, these OAPs, we really do try a lot to come and, sound like we are all up and doing. Sometimes we receive bad news some minutes before we even turn on the microphone, but yet we sound like, we are out there.
You have to act like everything is.
So I said, see, at this point, I am not motivating anybody. At this point, you, the caller, call in and motivate anybody you want to motivate.
On Sunday morning, I was here, just doing my. It was a good Sunday. I mean, with everything that was happening, it seemed like a good day. And I turned on my phone and I went to Twitter. And the first thing that I have been following, I flagged it to follow. And the next thing I see is they have killed me. They have killed my friend. And at that point, I don't know, my heart just broke. I did not understand how to feel, because I have never felt that bad about someone that I did not know.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Like, I've never had that kind of emotion about somebody that I probably would have never met in my life. If the situation had not been that unfortunate to make it to social media, I've never known of that person's existence, literally. To be feeling this way, this broken. And the biggest part is, you ask yourself, why did it happen to the young lady? The answer is simple. She just wanted to be useful. And I found myself going to her page, her social media, a Twitter page, and I saw the maybe almost a week old now. At that time, it was about 3 days old post where she said, "Acquirable on Twitter, I'm looking for a job." She was, when you're reading that tweet, you can read the excitement in the tweet. You can read the eagerness in the tweet. She was really looking forward to putting her mind and her body to use
See,
in a legitimate job.
like,
So you stop and you're saying, okay, so where then is safe?
see, we're at a point in our life where we ask, who is next to die today? Honestly.
You're like, where then is safe? Because there are students in universities that are getting kidnapped from their hostels. There are people who are on the road searching for their daily bread that are getting killed.
You can't even travel how many miles without having
Now
this scare.
there are people on their way to serve the nation in the compulsory 1-year NYSC youth service, the youth service corps, that are getting killed. Sometimes accidents, sometimes violence, sometimes kidnappings and killing, sometimes robberies, something. And also, there are people who have gone through school and just want to be useful and are getting killed. And somebody's telling me, oh no, it's an individual problem. And I say, no, cough that. It's an economic problem. Until we start seeing all of these things as not isolated cases of bad people and start treating it as economic problems and start seeing how it will ricochet back to the economic insecurity situation of this country, then maybe we will not make any sense of incidents like Innis. It's crazy stuff. It's crazy stuff. But we'll be back after this to talk about something else. Take that in. I understand that it might take away from you, but you have to understand it. You have to feel it to be able to do anything in your capacity, big or small, to change it. Keep it here. It's KU 92.7 FM.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is to inform the general public, particularly our Muslim listeners, of your darling program, Living Treasure, a special daily 30 minutes Ramadan package airing on your darling station, KU 92.7 FM in Benin City. Time 3:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. As part of segment lined up are soul-inspiring lectures, quiz segment, request segment.
The program also offers you the privilege to have an in-depth understanding of Zakat in Islam, as there shall be Zakat assessment segment by Zakat and Sadaqat Foundation. Ramadan Mubarak. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Countryman and countrywoman wey get business. This message that for you, your Omega station KUFM 92.7 Benin City don't come with KU and Wolf Market. Make it not shock you with a deep discount. When not go to your pocket to advertise your business, go reach your customers doorstep. Unto say KUFM, then your back gidigba. Last that says this a wolf not the run belle. Carry your phone, make you bring us for 070-3805-0243 or 080-7401-4147. Make we help you push your goods and services with KUFM wide reach where they go far, plus including online platform for Shikele Money. KUFM, your business growth partner.
KUFM News.
We are live from Benin City to the world.
This is 92.7 KUFM News around the world.
Good afternoon and welcome to KUFM's News around the world. First, the headlines. Egypt court rejects bid for Suez Canal ship release. George Floyd's convicted killer Chauvin asks for new trial. Refuse no swab scam busted in Indonesia airport. Reuse nose swab scam busted in Indonesian airport. Details of these and more after this break. I am Omoye Ogbeide. In Egypt has ruled that the massive container vessel that blocked the Suez Canal in March, Ever Given, will continue to be held as a dispute over compensation shows no sign of being resolved. The grounding of the Ever Given for 6 days in March captured the world's attention. The Suez Canal Authority is seeking almost $1 billion in compensation from the Japanese owner of the vessel. The ship is currently impounded in a lake between two stretches of the canal. An appeal by the owner of the vessel to be released has been rejected for now. The Canal Authority has yet to publish the findings of its investigation into the course of the incident. The Ethiopian government has expressed disappointment at the European Union's decision not to send an observer mission to monitor the country's June 5th national elections, but said external observers were neither necessary nor essential. In a statement posted on its Twitter account on Tuesday, the Ethiopian Foreign Ministry said the government learned with disappointment of the decision of the High Representative of the European Union for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy to cancel the deployment of its observation mission for the upcoming general elections. And Uganda's parliament has passed a bill criminalizing human sacrifice and prescribing life sentences and convictions for related offenses. Until now, the country's laws did not provide for the crime of human sacrifice, and such wrongdoing have over the years been prosecuted as murder or other offenses. The legislation, the Prevention and Prohibition of Human Sacrifices Bill 2020, proposes a death sentence for any person convicted of committing human sacrifice or financing the practice. It also criminalizes the possession of human parts in their use in medicine for sale or personal use. The issue of human sacrifice needed a special section of the law because it was regarded as unique, given that it mostly involved the killing of children and involved their relatives. The former Minneapolis police officer convicted last month of the murder of black man George Floyd has requested a new trial. Derek Chauvin's legal team has filed court documents alleging misconduct by both prosecutors and jurors. Chauvin, who was captured on video kneeling on Floyd's neck for more than 9 minutes, was found guilty of murder and manslaughter. His lawyer says his client was deprived of a fair trial as Chauvin faces up to 40 years in prison. The rare verdict against the police officer was considered a milestone in the racial history of the United States and was widely applauded by Americans. United States media reports that the request for a new trial was expected and is a common move following a conviction. Chauvin will be sentenced next month. And United States President Joe Biden has laid out plans to vaccinate 70% of United States adults by July 4th and roll out the shots for 12 to 15-year-olds as soon as possible. Biden's new goal includes having 160 million adults fully vaccinated by Independence Day. The target is well within reach, given that 105 million have already had COVID-19 jabs and the United States is vaccinating nearly 1 million adults per year. Biden said his administration was working to win over doubters about the shots. The Democratic president also announced a new website, vaccines.gov, which Americans can use to find vaccination sites easily. A deadline for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to form a new government has expired. He had been trying for the past 28 days to build a coalition after the fourth inconclusive general election in 2 years, but the deadline ended at midnight on Wednesday. President Reuven Rivlin could now formally ask another political leader to try to assemble a coalition, but this could risk the country going to the polls once again. According to reports, this will be a blow for Netanyahu, Israel's longest-serving leader, but after the inconclusive result of the last election in March, it is an outcome that was widely predicted. And mountaineers and authorities at Everest Base Camp in Nepal said they are seeing rising numbers of climbers with COVID-19 symptoms and rising numbers of positive tests, raising fears of a serious outbreak. Base camp officials said they have received reports of 17 confirmed cases from hospitals in the capital, where a number of climbers had been sent from the base camp and higher camps to be treated. A staff at a private hospital in the capital, the Canadian International Water and Energy Consultants Clinic, confirmed that patients had tested positive for coronavirus after arriving from Everest Base Camp. The Nepalese government has so far denied having any knowledge of positive cases at Everest Base Camp, raising concerns that officials are downplaying the extent of the situation out of fear it will bring more pressure to close the mountain to expeditions. And several employees of a pharmaceutical company have been arrested in Indonesia for allegedly washing and reselling used COVID-19 nasal swab test kits. The members of the police reported that up to 9,000 passengers at an airport in Medan may have been tested with the reused swab sticks. State-owned company Kimai Pharma is now reportedly facing a potential lawsuit launched on behalf of the travelers. Police said they believe the scam had been happening since last December at the Kuala Lumpur airport in Medan, North Sumatra. Last week, 5 Kima Pharma employees, including the company's maiden manager, were arrested. The suspects are accused of breaking health and consumer laws by using nasal swab sticks and repackaging them for sale. And that's KFM's news around the world. But before we go, a quick recap of the headlines. Egypt court rejects bid for Suez Canal ship release. George Floyd's convicted killer, Chauvin, asks for new trial. Reuse no swab scam busted in Indonesian airport. Do remember that the continued unity of Nigeria is a collective responsibility. Be sure to play your part. Do not forget you can listen to us anywhere in the world by visiting our website at www.kufm.net or download our mobile app from the Google Play Store. We are also on YouTube at KUFM Nigeria. KUFM's news around the world was produced by Blessing Asekome. I am Omoyo Ogbaide saying thanks for listening. Good afternoon.
KUFM
92.7 FM.
Keeping you bouncing through your midday. Bouncing through your midday.
Turn it up.
Bounce with me.
Afternoons on the one. It's just the one.
They call me burner, boy. They call me burner, boy. I see you, baby. Yeah. 7, 8, 9, 10. When I hear for the gal, 7, 8, 9, 10. When I hear for the 7, 8, 9, 10. When I hear for the gal, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3. Oh, said tonight to be a night. Oh, gotta be doing something right. Ibili boo, ibili boo, ibili boo, ibili boo, ibili boo, ibili boo, ibili boo. Oh, said tonight to be a night. I dey hold my woman, and I be real magician. I fit to get your woman, ha. I want Josie, one gbọ́dọ̀ wọlé, orin tàn mí wá. I want Josie, one gbọ́dọ̀ wọlé, orin. See, as I flick out my khaki, exit the party, as I flick out my khaki, exit the party, is it because you see me today? We make you want to use me, they play. Nah, 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 you don't stop today. Certain how to be a night. Gotta be doing something right. Ebele bebo, ebele bebo, ebele bebo, ebele bebo, ebele bebo, ebele bebo. Certain how to be a night. Gotta be doing something right. Ebele bebo, ebele bebo, ebele bebo, ebele bebo, ebele bebo, ebele bebo. I want Josie, one gbọ́dọ̀ wọlé, orin tàn mí wá. I want Josie, one gbọ́dọ̀ wọlé, orin tàn mí wá. I want Josie, one gbọ́dọ̀ wọlé, orin tàn mí wá. I want Josie, one gbọ́dọ̀ wọlé. Mo ní kó dọ̀bálẹ̀, tó bá wà wọn tọ́pọ̀ máa sọ̀kalẹ̀. Mo ní kó dọ̀bálẹ̀, tó bá wà wọn tọ́pọ̀ máa sọ̀kalẹ̀. You know say bẹ̀bẹ̀ lọ, so you can call me bẹ̀bẹ̀ scar. You know say bẹ̀bẹ̀ lọ, so you can call me. Certain how to be a night. Gotta be doing something right. Ebele bebo, ebele bebo, ebele bebo, ebele bebo, ebele bebo, ebele bebo. Certain how to be a night. Gotta be doing something right. Ebele bebo, ebele bebo, ebele bebo, ebele bebo, ebele bebo, ebele bebo. Emi baba ńlá ọmọ aristocrat.
Don't you touch that dial.
Sugar, don't touch that dial.
KUFM 92.7.
All the programs on KU 92.7 are now open for sponsorship and advert placements. For sponsorship and advert placements, call now for inquiries 070-380-50243 or 080-8877-3644 or visit KUFM Marketing Office located at the top floor of the Enterprise Foundation Building, number 62, Ihama Road, Benin City, Edo State. 92.7 KUFM is your business growth partner. In the ever-revolving world of news, one story becomes extinct the moment another major story breaks.
Market women don't know whether they be anything.
But with KUFM's extra voices, the story never dies. It just takes on a new life.
Market meho.
There's no water in the house. The toilet is not good.
We don't have any fashion in APC.
We bring you new angles and fresh perspectives to every story, no matter how old or remote.
There are a lot of educated people that are involved in politics nowadays.
We go a little beyond the surface to get you those extra details ignored in the rush for the news.
Now bridge, now we take the enters now.
Some don't die for inside.
We go beyond the lines to bring extra voices, not just for those making the stories.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
But for those affected by the stories.
I've lost one bag of rice. Documents.
So it's a real disaster.
With extra voices, we add new flavor to give fresh perspective and taste to an old story. Extra Voices airs every Wednesday and weekends on KUFM's major news bulletins.
92.7.
Yeah, I'm back at you. I'm back at you.
I'm a fire, no be peace, don't quest up. You know, anything I know, but I show. Anywhere we are doing a part, that's in love, one way love, I got in love. Oh, we know up to the break of dawn, baby love. Guess that you owe money, call your body them, you can like anybody. Take it to stay, yeah, don't follow Judy. Party, jolly, party, with the body, the shots curry, make your eye dirty. From now till eternity. Don't go stop, to go. And you're there, don't go stop, to go. But it's not a struggle now. I just should be a yellow. Or you should be my belly, go. I'll be double now. Yes, I yellow. We gon' make smoke, you collect salary. Come on, give me my dome. You read me before I pay look. Not be me, you know I'm a ghetto soldier. Kaki no be leather. Every Friday for San Brasba. Lot of down to that kind of weather. Life too short to know. Nobody knows tomorrow. Can't start away your sorrow. You like what tomorrow? Hey, money speaking. Any idea? Waiting. Shut up. The budget, damn me. I go. Or I'm more. Congrats. My personality, no matter at all. Congrats up, put this up. All I want is cash and fun. Congrats up, Ibashile. Congrats up, if I buy Bentley. Congrats up, Kilo Day. Congrats up, Ejakin Tayemi. Ejakin Shayemi. Ejakin Tayemi. Shayemi, Peme Tayemi. You know. Congrats up,
Sophisticated, yo. She take carry angala, she take blank my head. Sophisticated, yo. She take knock me, she take blank my head. Sophisticated, yo. She take carry angala, she take blank my head. Sophisticated, yo. She take knock me, she take on my way. I said, rain for tonight. I said, me and my baby want to go to right. I said, rain for tonight. I said, me and my baby want of night. I say, rain for tonight. I say, me and my baby want to come to right. I say, rain for tonight. I say, me and my baby want to come to night. She they make me use my shibambe. For like I can go, I'm a busy can't stay. I cannot forget. Chichi my baby. She fell in love with my rhythm and bass.
So baby girl, let me upgrade. You full of greatness, don't be ungrateful. You're bigger than Bombay. Give me a minute, so let me update. A protocol, must be observed. When she dey waka to pay, they contact. A protocol, must be observed. She know they answer anybody, she is reserved.
Sophisticated, yo. She dey carry angala, she dey blank my head. Sophisticated, yo. She dey knock me, she dey blank my head. Sophisticated, yo. She dey carry angala, she dey blank my head. Sophisticated, yo. She dey knock me, she dey come my way. I said, rain for tonight. I said, me and my baby wanna cut to right. I said, rain for tonight. Cause me and my baby wanna go for tonight. I said, rain for tonight. I said, me and my baby wanna cut to right. I said, rain for tonight. Cause me and my baby wanna go for tonight.
A protocol, must be observed. When she dey waka to pay, they contact. A protocol, must be observed. She know they answer anybody, she is reserved.
Sophisticated, yo. She dey carry angala, she dey blank my head. Sophisticated, yo. She dey knock me, she dey blank my head. Sophisticated, yo. She dey carry angala, she dey blank my head. Sophisticated, yo. She dey knock me, she dey come my way. I said, rain for tonight. I said, me and my baby want to cut to right. I said, rain for tonight. Cause me and my baby want to go fun tonight. I said, rain for tonight. I said, me and my baby want to cut to right. I said, rain for tonight. Cause me and my baby want to go fun tonight.
Marango Dumpy on the mix. Ajabo Hustlers Gang.
Hello, business owners and service providers. Your station of choice, KUFM 92.7 Benin City, is out with another bumper offer. Introducing KU Awoof Market. We are giving huge discounts on adverts at specific times of the day. That means you don't have any reason not to let the world know about your products and services. Cause no matter the size of your pocket, KUFM has got you covered. For inquiries, please call 0703 805 0243 or 0807 401 4147. Hurry now and take advantage of this wonderful offer to advertise your goods and services on KUFM at mouth-watering discounts. KU Awoof Market gives you massive exposure with the station's wide reach across its terrestrial and online platforms at lower rates. KUFM, your business growth partner.
Listen to Sophisticated Iawo by Jabba Hustlers. Before that, Kongwaso by Nice. I think from 2009 or 10. That song was big at the time, though. Tonight by Burna Boy, also played on the radio. How's it going, people? Welcome back to the show. So let's get right to it. Now, last week, it was a bit of it was a funny show with me talking about, the time of the month. That women like to refer to as their menstrual period, or biologically referred to as a menstrual period, and generally loosely referred to as period. People say, "Oh, I'm seeing my period." Yeah, that's what it means. And I asked people how comfortable, especially men, they were hearing about women talk about their menstrual period and how comfortable women are actually talking about it, and found out that most women are not. They actually feel like it's TMI, and most men are like, some men were actually comfortable talking about it, and others were like, I really don't want to know. I don't even want to know where you go to the toilet. I'm not even interested. You know, so why would you? So let's continue with our conversation, because it has formed bulk of the conversation on social media around women issues. Some people have even gone as far as saying, because that time of the month is not chosen to be felt, or it's not chosen to be the way it is by an individual, it is natural, it is biologically deemed to be that way. People have even started to push for the consideration of menstrual leave, you know, with pay, and you know, that can be very problematic when you look at it. All right, but we will get into that. But let's come into another aspect of it. We are women, and I remember recently I walked into a supermarket and I went to the sanitary section of the supermarket, and under households, I went to the sanitary section, and I was looking at tags. And I was looking at tags for sanitary towels of several kind. And my mind was blown. And I still felt the need to not buy. If it wasn't essential, I probably wouldn't buy. Because even for me, a worker, it seemed too expensive. You know, and then I'm thinking of a family of 5. 3 girls, for instance, and a parent who earn bare minimum wage or just a little over, and these girls maybe are in their teens and earlier late adolescence, will need these sanitary towels. How do you afford this for 3 girls? I mean, it's hard enough. So how about people without jobs? How about people without steady incomes who need these things? At least, because some people actually need it more than once, but at least once in a month. How do you cope? I mean, you see price tags ranging from 400 naira to as much as 2,000 naira. And you ask, how? And why is it still this expensive in Nigeria? Now, the conversation about subsidizing sanitary pad has been on for a while. It has been on for a while. People have said, see, think about women. Think about how women do not have a choice. All right? Not necessarily women. Think about how most women do not have a choice, because there are women who have hit menopause and no longer need this. But think about how most women do not have a choice. It must happen. And why has there not been any thought towards subsidizing sanitary pads or sanitary towels for women? And every day it is steady on the rise. I remember this time in 2015 it wasn't this expensive. You know, you would see it around the 200, 180, sometimes, you know, 220, 210 range. But now we're looking at 400 naira. 500 naira, 8,000 naira, 1,500 naira, 2,000 naira, and depends on how big you want to go. You could be spending as much as 10,000 naira buying sanitary towels. Now, why do you think that there has not been any thoughts in any quarters, either from manufacturers of these towels or from the government, to subsidize these things for women? Because you literally don't have a choice. Why? Why do you think that this has not happened?
Well, if you ask me why it hasn't happened, I think because much attention has not been drawn to it, yeah? When people complain about something, then attention will be drawn to it. But you know, we have this attitude of, we'll go survive last. We'll go survive last. And then you have people who actually go out to do what do they call this again? What do they call this Sharon does again? Remind me. Is it
outreaches, community service?
Yes, they go out to help people who cannot afford to do all of these things. So they always have at the back of their mind that there would always be people like this who would even come and buy in bulk. And make their markets even more progressive. Who will come and buy in bulk and distribute to this set of people that we are actually saying that now they can't afford even one inside of that sachet. If you want to break it down, sometimes they can't even afford one inside of inside the sachet of a sanitary pad. So and then these people also are waiting for NGOs like this to come distribute to them. We know. I remember back in school, they usually come distribute to us. I think every term, or was it every year? So people would always wait for that period to come. And when that period comes, they distribute to you. You don't use it on a regular day. You use it when you have big events. It's like, oh, okay, you got a pack of sanitary pad in school today, and you're not going anywhere for the week. Then maybe there's one birthday party you have to attend or somewhere you have to go. That's when you remember to use it, because that's like a luxurious item to you. Now, why attention hasn't been drawn to that is because, like I said, nobody has complained about it. NGOs will go buy in bulk and even make their market progressive to distribute to people who can't afford it. It's until we realize that, how we are saying it is looking like it's nothing. It's actually nothing. What are these ladies talking about is nothing. What's a sanitary pad of 1,000 naira? You and I, we might be able to afford it. Yeah? But there are a lot of people who that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
What I was thinking about
the same thing I'm saying. And it comes down to when I mean not speaking up, it now comes down to those people who cannot afford it and those people who are not fortunate enough to receive the services of this NGO. They wait back at home when they're on their period, especially students who attend public schools. When they're on their period, they stay back at home for the period when that thing will be flowing, and then they use napkins that are not hygienic for their health to protect themselves. And when it's done, they go back to school. They feel like it's normal. Most of them even see it as being normal, or they even resort to using tissue papers.
So the thing is, I was doing a bit of research, and I stumbled on videos, and this video was just trying to explain, the necessity of a subsidy towards this particular product, sanitary towels. And in that video, young girls were talking about how they manage it. Now, when you look at a pack when you pick up a pack of sanitary towel and you look at it, there is an advisory, and the advisory suggests that you take it out every 8 hours. Mm-hmm. Now,
that's for people that's flowing normally.
Normal,
yes,
medium to normal.
For heavy flows, it's like 4 hours.
So for people who have this, who can afford to keep it in for 8 hours. Now, when you do that, you have 24 hours in a day. So you'll be going through a stretch of, give or take, 4
changes.
3. Let's just put it at a minimum of 3 changes. Now, if you buy a pack of 8, and you have
7.
You have 4 days to go through the period.
For people who flow 4 days.
Now, some people flow more. Some people flow less. I'm just saying, like you have 4 days. Now, you think about how many packs will go down the drain, and how much money
will go down the drain. Especially for people that are not working.
See, and it's the funnest part when you put this situation with product, the barrier product of contraception that people actually have a choice for, that has been greatly subsidized in Nigeria, it makes no sense, or it makes less sense. I mean, there is a subsidy for the barrier method of contraception. I don't know if anybody knows, but I'm saying it now. There is a subsidy for it, for a particular brand of such. And that is essential, there is no subsidy. Now, when you bring this up in social space, people will say, because it really has to do with women, now becomes a gender war. It now becomes with a product that could be necessary for everybody, and a product that is just only necessary for one gender. And this will now cast aspersions on why the thought for a subsidy has not even been brought up. And we have the Ministry of Women Affairs. Do you think that this should be within their purview?
Obviously, it's women affairs, so it should be. But the thing is it important to them? Do they see it as
a necessity?
Yes. Do they see it as a challenge that needs to be tackled? Those are the questions to ask. Now,
personally, to you, is it important to you?
Of course it is.
I mean, put yourself in the position of someone who can afford to.
You just mentioned that we are workers and we complain a lot. I remember the last time, because I get to buy mine in bulk here. I remember last time I went to buy, and I was told 1,200. I said, no, the last time I got it was 1,000. I said, oh, no, it's more. It's now more. So I get to buy for a span of 6 months. Now, this is me who can afford it. I'm still complaining about it. Let's look at the average person out there who really cannot afford these things. How exactly are they going to cope? That's why we're talking about it. But the Ministry of Women Affairs, is it about, sometimes I feel like we don't look at what is necessary. We don't try to change or make changes as regards what is necessary about women. I think it's more clamoring for equality and stuff. See, these are easy things that can be done. In Scotland here, only in November last year, Scotland is free now. It's free. Anyone can walk into
I was going to mention that.
Or whatever,
and then you pick
just get it.
It's free. Even if you buy
free.
a bunch of things, they take that aside.
Completely.
And then you pay for the rest.
So why can't we do that here? Why can't that's just one place?
We're not even asking for it to be free. It's funny. It's almost impossible for you to say
it's almost impossible because the basic thing we actually even need to survive is not yet free. Not to talk more of them thinking to that aspect to say, oh, okay, this is something really serious we have to pay attention to.
No, we're not even asking for free. We're asking for subsidized.
No, even if the truth of the matter is the products that I can use or the product that I'm comfortable with can be totally different from what Orlando is comfortable with. Yeah. So now there comes the difference in product and usage. There comes the difference. Remember, you just talked about how many hours it can be used and stuff. Yeah. There are some persons. I would take myself for instance. If I have to go and pee, I don't want to see anything, so I'm taking it out. Yeah. So there are people who are highly irritated and will use more than a whole pack for a day. There are people like that. And there are people who will say, I'm not comfortable with this product, I'm comfortable with that. So let's say an NGO comes and it gives everybody free. There are people who have reactions to these things. There are people who are uncomfortable by it or a particular product. So an NGO is giving a particular brand to everybody. At the end of the day, Orlando, do you like it? Take. They have not done anything for me. Yes, they came, they shared for everybody. But guess what? It didn't affect me because there's a particular brand that I use. Now, when you're subsidizing, how much is this subsidy? Look, let's not deceive ourselves. When we in this country as a whole, when we talk about subsidy, there are many times, okay, let me leave the entire country. Let's talk about, a simple business person who says, I'm giving you 50% discount off something. We know that is still the same price you're buying it. It's just about the same price. What they do is put an entire product together and tell you, we are giving 50% off this thing, and everybody's rushing to it. It's not because it is actually 50%. It's because they create a sense of
a discount sense.
Yes. But it's actually not. Yeah. So you want to subsidize this thing, and you say, okay, it's being sold for 200 naira. Now we're going to be selling it for, let's say, 100 naira. Yeah. Let's talk about products that we even buy in the market. You see, it is boldly written on it, 70 naira. I go to the market and I buy it for 150 naira. And these people also follow the. We have a pricing agency that goes about, or that should go about, checking the price of these things. Do they actually do that?
Consumer protection.
Thank you. That's what I was looking for. Do they actually do that? Do they? It's on the pack. It said 70 naira to be sold for 70 naira, and I get to buy stuff as much as 200. I do say, that's the price now. When I bought it from the production company, it was this price. Then when I bought it from the depot, it's this price. When I bought it from the retailer, it's this price. At the end of the day, for every product we buy, the consumer is the one that pays the price for everything, for every expense made, from production till it gets to the consumer. So subsidy will really work, really work. Is implementation going to be done?
It hasn't worked on fuel. It's on.
That's why I said let's leave
my
the
sister
country.
Was on this project. Yeah, she wanted to reach out to 1,000 schoolgirls living in the slum, because she, according to her research, she said majority of the schoolgirls don't go to school on period days because they don't have sanitary pads, and sometimes their mothers not even allow them use the rough materials in the house because they had to tear clothes and all that, so they stay at home. And then she started moving around, and she said she went to first the Ministry of Women Affairs in Lagos. She dropped a proposal, and they never attended to that proposal. They never did. Okay. They never did. So she ignored. So she went to some of the companies that actually produce sanitary pads. She went there and, she tried getting this stuff with her money. They never gave her any. They told her, see, we produced at full cost, and we have to sell. If we're selling to you at a discounted price, we're going to be running at a loss. That was what they told her.
So in essence,
she had to buy with her money.
She had to buy.
See that?
She had to buy more than 2,000 pieces of sanitary parts. In fact, she went to the popular brands that we know. They said, no, okay, you can't even get from here if you're not buying up to this amount.
You know, it's funny because
it's that crazy, it's that crazy.
While I was thinking about this, I was on the phone with my mom yesterday and we were talking about it. And I asked her, I was like, there's this particular one you used to buy. It has 50 in it. And I found out that the only time we got that was when my mom would travel. You know, and she'd bring us back those ones for myself and my sister. 50, you know, massive, it was big. And we would look at it and we would compare it to the one that would buy here. All right. And you'd see it was made in, say, France or made in the UK. And you see made in Nigeria. You know that this one was made in Nigeria. They're one of these popular brands. And then when you look at the price on that one, yeah, if she can remember how many. Sometimes it's less than £1.
Oh, okay.
It's like 99 pence or something like that. You know, when you calculate it, it is cheaper.
Compared to what?
Way cheaper than the one that was made in Nigeria. Now, you'll find out that...
made in Nigeria that has 7 or maybe 10 in a pack.
Now, you find out that back in the day, when you go to the supermarket, they always have different shelves. To shelf these ones, the important ones are there. Then now, if you go, the Nigerian brand is just as expensive as the so-called important brands. And you're like, okay, these things are being made in Nigeria now. So what is the problem? Is it not supposed to drop in cost? Was the cost not supposed to be more when they were being imported? Or the so-called foreign brands? But now they are Nigerian brands. And you say, buy Nigeria. But yet Nigeria is just as expensive as the imported brand, especially for something this essential. For women, it is essential. For men, you might never really understand, but it is essential. So, are you saying in all of this conversation that we are having that there is nothing that can be done to make it more affordable to the girl on the street?
This is what it is, Omoye. Individuals have been trying their best. When my youngest did that project, she actually made 3 months sanitary pads available for each girl. 3 months, a girl, you're covered for the next 3 months, and she reached out to more than 1,000 girls. And then
so aside from goodwill, charity, there is nothing that can standardize the price.
That's the bitter truth.
There's actually nothing.
That's the bitter truth.
There's actually nothing.
Except you can devise a means, yeah. Maybe just a suggestion in my head, yeah. Except you can devise a means where, okay, for example, maybe in a girls' school, or not even a girls' school, mixed school, where you have to, okay, if these students, if the boys are paying some amount of school fees, the girls could top a little amount of school fees, which is going to cover their sanitary pad expenses for the month, where every month they get a sanitary pad. At least in that way, you could help to reduce the every month spending. Because aside that, the student of the public school cannot even afford a sanitary pad when it's a time for in the month. She can't afford any.
They can't even afford books. They can't afford books, writing materials. Yes. They can't afford them.
So not to talk more of sanitary pads, like I say, some resort to piece of clothes.
And this thing you see how
this company will tell you this is when she was narrating what her sister went through in purchasing from a very well-known brand. These companies will tell you that they don't pick their raw materials from the bin or pick it on the road, walking on the road.
I mean, start from the raw material
that they buy. They'll tell you we buy raw materials. So how do you expect us to sell or give you out for free? This is what the storyline is going to be.
So you see how this is an economic problem. Like I said earlier, until we treat everything like it's an economic problem, we might never make a headway. This is an economic problem because if resources are available, if production is cheap, the consumer good will be cheap. I mean, is that not what we are establishing here? According to Orlando's analogy, if they say, oh, we buy raw materials and it's at this so and so price, we have to make a buck. So clearly this is an economic problem. And what economic help can you do to reduce the economic cost of this and probably reduce the cost of the end consumer good?
See, this might just be going around in circles. And I'm saying that because you go to the market, for instance, there's fuel price increase, and you go to the market to buy Gary. The woman who sells Gary has no business with fuel
at all.
She will tell you they don't increase fuel.
Oh, dollar don't increase.
Yeah, she'll say dollar. You know,
the woman that sells pepper safe.
Yeah. So when you look at that and you look at cost of production and stuff, some of these people who say these goods are made in Nigeria, they fail to tell us that they are actually assembled in Nigeria and not actually made
in Nigeria.
They fail to tell us that most of the materials that they put together to making that product was shipped in from wherever. So it's not necessarily 100% made in Nigeria. So we can't really say we can track it, can we? See, one thing I know is that once there is a decree handed down from the executive, the legislative, and passed on by the judiciary, it makes it a lot easier for people to abide by it. And then if you get uniformed people to enforce it, let's take for instance, Consumer Protection walks into your office with 2 military men and they ask you how much you sell this thing. My darling, the price, the exact price that's written on that thing, that's what you would tell them.
Exactly.
Now, if they also have some sort of undercover agents, so to speak, people who are working with the Consumer Protection rights, who just walk into a shop and say, I want to buy this stuff, without disclosing their identity, just buy that stuff, you would know exactly how much it is sold, and you can penalize that store, supermarket, or whatever. Yeah. Now, if I hear that Orlando's shop was locked down because she sold so and so product at the price that's not written on the pack, guess what? I definitely would, shape myself into line. That's what I would do. But are these things happening? That's the question to ask. Are they happening?
You mentioned something, and I think that this has further set back how this is being sold. There was a time when you pick up a pack from one of those very popular brands, they come in several colors. When you pick up you would see the price on it.
Yes.
And then over time, it stopped.
Yeah.
And how about with this? Another way that this can actually be helped is with this particular product, sanitary towels. Producers will be made to write or indicate the price on the pack.
It doesn't change.
And then Consumer Protection would enforce that.
Okay, unless that happens. And look, they can come to my shop today and I enforce it for 15 naira. And they leave.
I will take back the
I will move it back to 250 naira.
Until they have an insider, and then they will have an insider that works with them that will give you information. These people they come so deal.
So arrange
you change your price.
There are places where you're supposed to get things for free, and those things are being sold. Say for example, nose marks. I got to a place one time. They said nose marks for free, and then we got there and the guy was like, it's 100 naira.
I mean, you see it holding everything not for sale, and they're selling it to you.
And you need it to get it. So you don't even have a choice at that time to buy. So it's crazy.
If we want to enforce the whole consumer protection thing, like I said, they will get it when the person comes. Bro, Safana, all you have to do is grease his palm, collect his phone number. Once in a while, I say, make I hail you. How far? Well, by the time you follow up the necessary things, or the in quotes necessary things that you should follow up, next time when they are paying a visit to your shop, he's going to inform you, guy, how far did they come? But say you'll find me small thing.
This thing that she's saying now makes a lot of sense, because a couple of years ago I was working with a particular company, and it was a DPR, yeah. And you notice that once DPR is coming, we already know in the company, everyone knew, because there was always a snitch in the company who will call and say, half, what's happening? And they say, okay, we're coming tomorrow. And they would arrange everything. That's how it happens in this school. I see.
And then in your company, you might have received news that this particular place, this particular station is breaking the rules. When you get there, everything is.
It is quite disheartening that we live in a country where bribery is a normal. It's a norm.
It's a norm.
You know, everyone just carries along that like there's absolutely nothing wrong.
I mean,
like,
you're leaving your house.
It's a normal thing that
you're going somewhere. You already planned the amount of bribe you want to give.
I walked into an office. They were holding. I'm telling you, they were holding one of my documents, an original document of mine, and I said, "Can I have this?" And the lady was like, "Hey, madam, you find me something?" And I said, "Oh, okay. Here's my identity card. I'm a broadcast journalist." I said, "I know now. It's not KUFM. I know now. Madam, they know that you will probably talk about them. They know that, and they don't care.
They don't care.
They really do not care.
They don't care.
So this is the society that we live in.
They see you, or when they notice you that you're trying to be the righteous person, they look at you as you don't know what you're doing. It will backfire to you, and you are going to reap the
most of the time they never lie. It really backfires because
I had to call somebody because she didn't release my. I had to call somebody to make sure my documents was given to me, and the lady just told me, "Go home, I'll collect it and bring for you." That was it.
You know, but the crazy part is, you see, when you try all of this conversation about bribery, about the corruption in Nigeria, is coming from as little as the question, why is sanitary pad, which is essential to women, so expensive? That is where it's coming from. So it's an economic problem, and I don't know what can be done, because from all the conversation that we've had, it's just going in circles, and we are coming to that point where it's almost like nothing will change. So you have to just brace yourself as the naira keeps falling in value. Just know that the next time you go to a store or a supermarket to get sanitary towel, it will be more expensive than the last time you bought it. There's a likelihood
every
of that.
single time.
And
Yes.
it's heartbreaking, honestly. You and I can afford to stock up for
Very
1
true.
year. We can easily walk into the sanitary store, close your mind, and like, okay, I'm spending this so amount. If we want to stock up for 1 year, say we are spending up to 20,000 naira for 1 year, or more than 20,000.
You know why this is personal? Because I walked into a store, and by the time I was done, I was spending close to 10,000 naira. I had spent close to 10,000
And then
naira
you check what you bought, and
buying
you're like,
sanitary towels, and I'm like,
what? You know,
at the point, I'm like, the only reason why this is still in my cart is because it's essential, it's necessary. Alternatively, why I could use money buy this thing like this?
You don't have a choice.
You can't bypass it.
Like you don't. It's compulsory. Like you don't have it. You can have choice to do other things, which you mentioned about the what did you call it again?
The barrier contraceptive.
Yes, you can have a choice.
It's so crazy that
you do not have a choice.
It's so crazy that when I think about
knocking on your door every month.
It's so crazy that when I think about it, that actually has subsidy. So how was it enforced? No, because the bulk of the conversation is, oh, you cannot enforce it. Oh, we will not get headway. But that actually has subsidy. How was it enforced? Because someone was telling me that, do you know the original price of this thing? And I'm like, what? And it's like, you're looking at 300 and something naira if you want to buy it at the original price. I'm like, so why is it sold for this? And it's like, oh yeah, it's subsidized. I'm like, excuse you? Excuse you? And I'm buying this for the same price as so-called production and cost of delivery and everything. I'm buying it for the same price. This, you have a choice. You have a choice. I mean, you have choices. So how do you enforce subsidy on that kind of product and not on sanitary towels?
Or sanitary towel is nothing to them now. They see
Not
that
necessarily. In my head, I'm imagining a lady moving, sponsoring a bill for for sanitary pads to be subsidized at the National House. Just imagine, the men will be rolling with laughter because they do not see the importance.
Like, what are you talking
They do not see. Why are we talking about such gory thing? Like, what? Please, it shouldn't even fly. Yes, and that's why I feel like if we have more women who are objective when they're in the house and not just there to catch cruise, vibes and inshallah. If we have women who are much more objective, then this shouldn't even be a conversation if the Ministry of Women Affairs are really putting their foot down and making sure that they do their jobs.
And you know,
this will be a
funny enough, you said this is not been but this has been a conversation for years.
For as long as possible.
I just remember sitting in a room with women years back and still talking about the price of sanitary pad. And then it was even far cheaper than it is. And the Naira still had some kind of value than it does. Anyways, let's see if we can take one or two calls. 07062 639 09039 394427 and 0812 178 9154 are the numbers to call. And you said this is the problem. This is one topic that affects women and women alone. But how many women will speak up for themselves? How many women would talk about this now that there is an opportunity that has presented itself? 07062 639 275 09039 394427 and 0812 178 9154 are the numbers to call and contribute. All right, what do you think can be done to help this situation with sanitary towels, the price of sanitary towels in Nigeria for women? Hello.
Hello, good afternoon, my people.
Good afternoon. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Matiti speaking.
All right, Matiti, go ahead.
Yeah, what I really support motions that they should really look at the price of the sanitary towel, the price to sell it. Because for a home that has more than 3 ladies with the mother, I can't imagine how much they spend monthly buying that stuff. So it's just too expensive because I never learned how much they used to sell it, maybe 250, and the price has gotten to today. So I'm putting in support that they should try and reduce it so that those that have more ladies in their house also feel the impact.
All right, thank you so much, Matete. My mom said something very funny the last time I was home, because she's older and has hit menopause, and she saw it. I think she saw it on my niece's bed or something, and she saw one, and she was like, "Oh, I see buy this thing." You know, and in her mind, it was like, "Oh, I stopped spending money on this for myself." You know, so it felt like a relief, and she was like, "Oh, I still buy this thing." Now, wow, how much is it now? And my niece told her, she was like, are you serious? I was like, oh, did you?
See that?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, good afternoon. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Isaiah.
All right, Isaiah, go ahead.
So I'm sorry that we found ourselves in this situation, this case, because to me, I ask myself sometimes, like, in the Ministry of Women Affairs, only when you want to do election like they are kind of useful, or when you want to do census for women, because these are issues that would have been on the director's table right now. Because I asked, what is now the women affair? What is affecting women that they go to work every day to do? Because when you talk about rape cases, the courts are there for you. They are National Female Association, FIDA, they are there for you. What is now? Why would they go to work every morning? You see, things that just concern the women directly. So they're actually working for the male politicians.
Right.
They are just going there. They are going there to go to work. Just ask what is the job that they did last week now? Nothing. At the end of the month now, they will still get people that are striking to strike.
All right, thank you so much for reaching out. All right, guys, this is how we wrap it up. You know, it's a situation that affects me. I would want it to be subsidized so that I can live my life in peace and save some money for shawarma. But, well, all right, guys, welcome. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. Thank you to Soba, Orlando, and Star Girl. This is where we wrap it up. A fine place to live it. And we'll see you next week, Wednesday, for another edition of the show. Keep it here. I'll be back after the news updates to take your request.
92.7 KUFM.
The best of everything. KUFM 92.7. Turn on excitement.
Good afternoon. This is KUFM News Update on the hour. I am Omoye Ogbeide. The chairman of the Code of Conduct Tribunal, Danladi Umar, on Tuesday appeared before the Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petitions. This was in response to a petition submitted against him following the circulation of a viral video where Umar was seen assaulting a security guard at Banex Plaza in Abuja. Umar, when he appeared before the lawmakers on Tuesday, said he was not properly served with the petition and based on the principle of fair hearing, he should be given sufficient time to allow him to study the petition. The chairman of the committee, Ayo Akinyelure, said the committee resolved to give Umar 2 weeks till May 18 to reappear before the committee, while also directing the Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petitions to probe the assault on the security guard. And the Lagos State Ministry of Justice has stated that its Directorate of Public Prosecution, DPP, has established a prima facie case of child sexual offences against actor Lariwaju James, also known as Baba Ijesha. Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice Moyosori Onibanjo said following the PDP's advice, Baba Ijesha will face a 5-count charge bordering on the offences. The offences include indecent treatment of a child, defilement of a child, attempted sexual assault by penetration, and sexual assault. And former President Goodluck Jonathan on Wednesday described the late President Umar Yar'Adua as a man who had a vision of a peaceful and united Nigeria. Jonathan, on his official Facebook page, said he celebrates his boss, friend, colleague and brother, President Umar Musa Yar'Adua, who died 11 years ago. He further stated that as politicians, they shared a common vision of a peaceful, united and just nation. The late Yar'Adua kept faith with his vision, channeling his strength and time in pursuit of a democratic society until his last breath. And the police in Ogun State has advised residents of the state not to use deserted areas or roads to avoid being kidnapped, urging them to be security conscious in view of the prevalent security challenges in the state. The police public relations officer in the state, ASP Abimbola Oyeyemi, gave the advice on Wednesday in an interview with newsmen in Sangota. Oyeyemi further advised the residents to board buses and taxis as designated motor parks when they want to travel. And governors in the southern part of the country under the Southern Nigerian Governors Forum on Tuesday met to discuss the state of the nation. The meeting, which was held virtually, was at the instance of the chairman of the Southwest Governors Forum, Rotimi Akeredolu, and chairman of both South-South and Southeast Governors Forum, Ifeanyi Okowa and David Umahi of Ondo, Delta and Ebonyi states, respectively. 15 of the 17 governors were from the southern parts and attended the meeting. The governors, who called for commitment and unity in addressing issues that affect the country, particularly southern Nigeria, stressed the need to put the country first in the face of the trying times. And that's KUFM's news update on the hour. I am Omoye Ogbeide. Good afternoon.
KUFM.
Don't you touch that dial.
Sugar, don't touch that dial.
KUFM 92.7.
Vacancy. A reputable hotel in Benin City, Edo State, has vacancy